Razer Studios are back with another update for Automobilista 2 version 1.6.6. Could easily be called the Aston Martin update as well, but that would be a bit too quick a conclusion to jump to. More cool content awaits in the update, and there are two pieces that really stood out to us, so let's check it out. Hi everyone, I'm Michel and I hope you brought your best dance moves and are ready to turn up, because the Nürburgring in AMS2 is now an absolute party zone. As a surprise addition to the version 1.6.6 update and the Endurance Pack Part 3 DLC, which we'll get to in a little bit, Razer has also presented sim racers with a 2025 refresh of the Green Hell, including all the latest renovations, a brand new scan of the track surface, updated trackside objects, and a party crowd when racing on the Nordschleife. Much like Assetto Corsa Competizione Nordschleife, the one in AMS2 now features packed campsites that light up beautifully during the night to increase the atmosphere in a big way, and Razer didn't stop there. In a certain time frame at night, you'll even be able to hear bass drum heavy music from the campsites, mostly in replay mode as your car will usually be too loud. In at Hocheichenau-Adenauer Forest, however, and you might catch the 24-hour race's trademark party fever. It's the first standout of the update for us. At the same time, the 2020 version of the track that is already in the sim also received some upgrades, such as the main terrain 3D mesh updates and some artwork. Interestingly, the 2025 Nürburgring is not part of the existing Nürburgring DLC, but rather a new standalone DLC priced at $7.99. Razer explains this with the amount of work that went into the project due to the length of the track. The community seems torn on this. Some understand this, others, especially those who already bought the Nürburgring DLC, also includes the 71 version of the ring by the way, feel like they have to pay twice for the same track. Either way, there is no denying that the updated version of the Nürburgring is very detailed and a labor of love. Razer even stated that a functioning shortcut at the final turn of the Grand Prix circuit to skip the long outlap and a tourist layout version will be added in a future update. The Nürburgring refresh is not part of the Endurance Pack Part 3 DLC, which brings Aston Martin cars to AMS2 for the first time. The most anticipated of the bunch is most likely the Aston Martin Valkyrie AMR-LMH, which slots into the LMDH GTP class as the only non-hybrid hypercar in the sim now. The Valkyrie drives a bit different as a result. You have to brake a bit earlier than usual, but on the other hand, the car has a bit of a top speed advantage over its in-class rivals. However, just like in Le Mans Ultimate, the rear wing cannot be adjusted, meaning you have to find grip using other measures. On its default setup, the Valkyrie can be quite snappy and tail-happy. We found that taking out a good chunk of rear anti-roll bar already helps things, but to really get the rear planted, more setup work might be needed. Overall, the car feels very engaging to drive, though not as planted as the LMU version. Most importantly, how does its V12 sound in AMS2? Well, have a listen for yourself. The Valkyrie sounds a bit different to the LMU version, both in cockpit and external views. While the engine note may be closer to the real thing at LMU, the AMS2 version still sounds excellent, especially with the sim's reverb, making it seem like the beautiful 12-cylinder noise really tears through its surroundings. Another lovely sound is that of you clicking the like and subscribe buttons, as well as the notification bell, of course. We are always excited to bring you new videos here on YouTube, and yeah, all three of these little activities helps our channel massively. Thank you for tuning in, but now back to the video. The other Astons in the pack are all GT cars, and all of them are based on the Vantage. The GTE version that raced in WEC until the end of 2023 is there, and so is the Vantage GT3 EVO. The GT4 class welcomes the surprise Vantage GT4 EVO. The latter is the least enjoyable of the lot in our opinion, which doesn't mean it's bad, just a bit uneventful. The GT3, meanwhile, is relatively tame and easy to lean on, something we also noticed when driving the car in other sims. That means that it feels quite engaging when you start to push for lap time, and the GTE feels similar, but is a bit trickier to drive due to its lack of ABS, of course. That said, it's great to see Aston Martin on the grid in AMS2, and especially those who enjoy the GT3 class will be happy to see another up-to-date representation of one of its models. But there's a reason why the DLC is not called Aston Martin Pack, and that is that there are two extra cars that are not in the iconic British manufacturer's catalogue of models. First up is the Alpine A110 GT4 EVO, the complete antithesis to the A424 LMDH hypercar that was already in AMS2. Well, no hybrid, not much downforce to speak of, but a lot of driving fun. For us, the Alpine is the second standout in the update. It feels very connected to the road, and we immediately felt comfortable when trying to push for more lap time. It's great fun to throw around on smaller circuits, especially like Brands Hatch. The car's sound design is also really good in cockpit view, especially those nice and mechanical sounding upshifts. That makes 5 cars, but there is a 6th that came as a surprise addition to the DLC. The Ligier JS2R introduces its own new car class to the game, as the French GT racer is run in the spec Ligier European series. It may not be the most powerful nor the lightest, but it does make for good close racing, we found. And despite being designed to be easy to drive, it doesn't have TC or ABS, so it can be trickier than it seems at first glance. It feels similar to a GT4 car overall, as it has a little bit of downforce but relies on mechanical grip first and foremost. The Ligier is a bit slower over a full lap, however. It may not be the most popular after release, but we could see the JS2R slot in as another great beginner car that is slightly more powerful than the Ginetta Junior, but not quite as quick as the GT4. Besides, it's cool to have another one of these oddball cars that you rarely find in sim racing otherwise. And that covers all of the new AMS2 content. The update to version 1.6.6 also brings a handful of tweaks and fixes, such as for multiplayer stability and to improve AI behavior in endurance races. They should show more logical approaches to their pit stop planning, definitely something we need to try soon. You can read the full changelog of the update on our website, overtake.gg, if you want to read up on all the changes. Now we want to know your thoughts on the latest AMS2 update though. What car are you looking forward to most, and how likely are you to pull over on the new Nordschleife and join the campsite party? Be sure to let us know in the comments. Until next time, thank you for watching. See you soon.